ऋषि सोनक, भारतीय मूल के ऋषि सोनक होंगे यूके के अगले प्रधानमंत्री। मतलब एक आदमी जो कि यहाँ से इमिग्रेंट बन के वहां गए थे, उनके बेटे ऋषि सोनक वहीं पर पैदा हुए हैं, और उनकी वाइफ अक्षता मूर्ति आज भी एक इंडियन पासपोर्ट पर है। ये मेरे साथ मिशेल काजी जी हैं, जो कि कंजर्वेटिव पार्टी की एडवाइजर हैं और ऋषि सोनक को सपोर्ट करती है। मैं इनसे पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि क्या ऋषि सोनक का वहां पे, क्योंकि ये वहीं पे रही हैं हमारी इंडियन ओरिजिन की, इंडिया पाकिस्तान भी पाकिस्तान की हैं, लेकिन क्योंकि वहीं रही हैं इसलिए हिंदी बहुत अच्छी नहीं बोल पाती। मैं इनसे इंग्लिश में ही इंटरव्यू करूंगा। मिशेल, वेलकम टू आवर चैनल। मिशेल, हाउ डू यू सी
Thank
the
you. I understood
coronation
everything
of,
you said, so I understand Hindi quite well.
okay, yeah. How do you see the coronation of Rishi Sonak, an Indian origin person, being catapulted to 10 Downing Street, a country where Britishers ruled 75 years earlier?
I think it's a day for all of us who are British Asians to be incredibly proud of how far this country has come. Also, happy Diwali, everyone. I think it's quite poetic that this happened on Diwali. That just makes it all more worth celebrating. But it just shows that the UK is welcoming to people from all backgrounds. It does not matter whether we were being colonized a century ago. We've progressed way beyond that. Now, in the UK, as a young British Asian like myself, you can be in politics, and as a young, Richie's also young. As a young British Asian, you can be the Prime Minister. I think it's something we should all celebrate, no matter which party we're from.
Okay. Will he be taking an oath? Generally the oath is taking on Bible. He will be taking an oath on Gita. He has taken it earlier. Even does the do the British rules have a provision for that, and how the British public is going to take that?
I will be really excited to see this. So when he was Chancellor, he was the first to light candles for Diwali last year. I do think he'll be taking the oath on the Gita. When you become an MP, you can take an oath on the book you believe in. So I think the same provisions will apply. They will be ready for him to take an oath on that. And again, I think it's a very historic moment when that happens, because it just shows how far this country has come in embracing diversity.
Okay, now embracing diversity. Do you think Rishi Sonak is gonna have a long-lasting impact on the polity of UK as well as the economy? Economy needs much more than the polity.
I think in terms of the economy, he's probably the best man for the job, because the last Prime Minister made some mistakes and wasn't that understanding of how the markets will react. Rishi Sunak is more than aware. Throughout the summer, when he was running as leader, he informed everyone of inflation, the impending recession, how you can't do unfunded tax cuts, and all of his warnings did come true. So market-wise, we've elected probably the most sound person we could as our Prime Minister. And the markets have somewhat responded well. I would hope they stabilize. In terms of promoting more diversity, I think this will encourage a lot of people like us, British Asians, to go into politics and really realize your potential, because it's breaking such a huge barrier. And again, I've said this before, it's something to be incredibly proud of today.
So, what will be the first priority for Rishi Sunak? We've seen that there are lots of problems in front of the British government. And, as they say, it is the biggest crisis in Britain since the Second World War. One prime minister had to resign 45 days
Yes.
apart.
No, okay. So the first priority has to be the cost of living crisis. Our former Prime Minister somewhat neglected to talk about it more widely. And that's the issue that's more prevalent across the country. You can speak to people in Scotland, you can speak to people in England or Wales. That's one of the first things they say. How am I going to pay my bills? The government needs to reassure everyone that they will support people through this winter. So I think as Prime Minister, that's going to be his first priority. He needs to calm the markets and comfort the public, because this instability is not good for anyone.
Okay, there was a time, and today I did a video on it. There was a time in India before the independence when some of the clubs, some of the malls, some of the hotels in India, it was written on those malls or hotels or the clubs, and dogs and Indians not allowed. It was pre-independence time. Today, the situation is that one Indian is sitting in 10 Downing Street. How do you think? How do you take that?
Again, it's incredible how far we've come, but there's more progress to be made in terms of being completely integrated more widely as a society into the UK. And again, just getting that more accepted in the world view as well. I know people say this is a slur, but we are increasingly becoming a globalist in every country will be more integrated than it ever has been. So breaking these barriers of racial prejudice is of vital importance. And today is a day of huge progress. Maybe we will
Okay.
see this replicated across different countries in the world of getting ethnically diverse leaders.
And do you think India coming closer to the UK after Rishi Sunak becomes the prime minister? And when is he going to take the oath? By the way,
He'll probably take it in the Commons.
by when will he take the oath?
I'm not sure. So he's met with King Charles III tonight. He's officially taking over tomorrow morning. So I would expect at some time tomorrow morning, or it'll be before Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday.
Okay, okay. That means within the next 2 days,
Yeah,
this
within the next
process should be
2 days.
complete.
Yeah.
What do you expect? How many Asians will be there in his cabinet?
Pardon?
How many Asians will be there in his cabinet?
I think that remains to be seen. I think we have a lot of great Asian talent. We've got a lot of great diverse talent, whether you're Black or Asian minority. Our party is excellent at promoting that at all levels. So I would expect a very diverse cabinet, but not just diverse in terms of race. I think we'll be looking at a cabinet from diverse backgrounds, and hopefully diverse experiences in terms of wider parts of life beyond politics.
Okay. Now, my final question: do you think Rishi Sunak is capable enough to deal with this situation? Of course, he has been dealing. He's been dealing with the economy for the past 2 years, and that has been a wonderful job. Do you think he's
Yeah.
going to bring it out? Because India has surpassed the British economy. Do you think he's going to do some kind of a miracle that the
Well,
British economy goes back to the
lucky
number five
for
spot?
us, yeah, lucky for us, Rishi understands that raising a country's productivity levels is the key to economic growth. So I would expect once inflation is under control, looking at how to improve the country's productivity is going to be key in making us the top key player in the global stage. And I am personally very excited to see the policies he comes up with to make sure that happens.
And will Suella be in his cabinet?
Suella is a great talent in our party. She backed Rishi in his nominations. I would hope she's in the cabinet, but even not, I would expect her to be in a ministerial position, definitely.
Home Ministry?
Pardon?
Home Ministry?
I think it remains to be seen who's going to be Home Secretary. I think Home Secretary, Chancellor, and Foreign Secretary are going to be, as always, the most interesting cabinet appointments. But we will see it in the next day or two of who gets these positions. I expect by tomorrow the whole cabinet table will be filled.
Thanks a lot, Michelle Kazi.
Thank
Umid
you.
hai, we hope it's going to be good days. Good days are coming. And secondly, Rishi Sunak there, we expect both the countries to come closer, India and UK. And what Boris Johnson was doing, he came here and was sitting on a JCB machine and a wonderful publicity for the British equipments. I think that's going to continue. उम्मीद है जल्दी ही आपके साथ we'll have another live with you as soon as Rishi Sunak takes over. Thanks a lot, ma'am,
Okay,
and
thank you.
धन्यवाद and happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.